Hello there, YouTube. This is Sibbles and Bits back at it again, talking about Inkbound. Today we're going to talk about the elephant in the room, or the Renferno in the room, if you will, the Season Pass. So, Inkbound is intended to be a live service game, and as such, Shiny Shoe has to constantly be, taking in money in order to keep producing the game. And so they have decided to go with a season mentality instead of the DLC mentality that they did with Monster Train. Lots of other games have been doing this, and it's allowed them to, you know, go for quite a while because it's nice to be able to get free revenue from people who want to buy MTXs. But it also generally incurs a feeling of FOMO, or fear of missing out, because things in the season pass are usually dangled there, and then you feel like you have to complete it in order to get everything. Now, Shiny Shoe has quite a lot of answers to that, and I do feel like they have one of the most fairest season passes in the game. We'll go into that a little bit more, but we're going to stop right there and then go into talking about what exactly seasons mean in Inkbound. Well, seasons are going to be their major content updates. They plan to have them at least every 3 months. Of course, this is their first foray into this, so the first couple of seasons may take a little bit longer. Will include stuff like they said on the table, there's new classes can be expected, new books can be expected, which are the biomes that you go into and fight in, new bindings or abilities, just your usual like meta shakeup that you see in other games of this nature. And what exactly a major content update looks like is probably also going to change as the game goes on, because they're going to have to gauge and work with the community on what the community wants out of a season update. They're going to have to work their work schedule to get into that flow state. We're also still in early access, so a lot of season updates might even just be putting in more infrastructure for the 1.0 update. There will be multiple seasons in early access, and we'll talk about exactly what that means later on. So one of the big questions is, what exactly do I miss out by not completing the season pass? The answer honestly is the season pass, not much. The only things that'll actually disappear every season will be these nameplates. As you can see that they are tied to the season, the story begins Villain Destroyer, story begins Bronze. These are tied to your ranking. I have Bronze because I am at Bronze. If we go ahead and go to our season screen, we can see that our player rank, which I'm currently at Bronze 2, at Silver I will unlock Silver. Your player rank will reset, and then you'll have to earn up the nameplates for that specific season again. So then you will get a unique and distinct Bronze, Silver, Gold, Platinum, and the top rank is Inkbound nameplate every season to sort of show off. Otherwise, inside the season level, there is one nameplate right at the beginning just for buying the season pass, pretty much. Talking about the season pass specifically, in early access, the season pass is going to be 600 shinies, or shines as I'm going to call them. It's 100 shines for $1, or your regional equivalent, but if you buy, well, we can probably take a look at this, right? Right. If you buy larger packs, they give you bonus packs very similar to games like this. In order to get shines, you either have 300 in the free-to-play top line here, and you will get the third amount of those at, level 62. There is also 1300 down in the premium pass, but we'll talk about that later. So, if you play free to play for 2 full seasons, get to level 62 on each of them, you will then be able to buy the season pass on the second season. Everything down here in the premium track, besides obviously, like I said, the nameplate and the shines, are actually going to rotate and fold into the cosmetic shop and will appear on a rotation. So if you're worried about, say, not being able to get like a certain emoji, then you don't have to worry about that because eventually it will show up. It's also something to note that, as I said before, there's also shines on the premium track, so you have some options there as well as far as like unlocking your season pass. As soon as you get to, let me take a look at my notes here, level 32, which honestly isn't that far in. At this point, you have 200 shines from the free track, 400 shines from the premium track, so buying the season pass at that point will allow you to unlock the season pass the next season. Also note that after early access in 1.0, I believe the last number that they publicly stated was that it will go up to 950, which would require you to get to level 59, which honestly, again, isn't that big of a deal. I'll go into that later. Should also probably be upfront about the fact that after you get this season pass, you are able to buy levels with 100 shines or $1 or your regional equivalent. That's honestly the thing that I have the most like irk about, is because if you're at a certain point, it's technically going to be cheaper for you to spend shines to unlock levels than it will be to wait for it to come back into the cosmetic shop. If we go into the cosmetic shop, weapons themselves are 450 shines, and any like emotes, animations are 300. Full cosmetic bundles, of course, being 1250. So that is quite honestly my number one concern about it for a lot of people. But I honestly don't think that gaining levels is going to be that big of an issue for a lot of people. Name point being that I understand that not everybody has the chance to do like daily quests, but you've got daily quests every day. You can even perform the collaborative quests by yourself if you've got a particularly good build that makes 25 shielding in a turn. Certainly can happen, can certainly perform like critical hits over time. So every day they're giving you, God, what would this be? 64,000 season points, which is pretty much like one rank. You have the seasonal quests themselves that are going to fold out, but it's more of like just giving you a narrative drive each season. And this one in particular, we are searching for an opal slab to help out the Inkbound, and in order to do that, we have to attune to children's books and just do random stuff, like basically reenacting. It's all a bunch of Greek to me, I'll admit, but these are obviously going to rotate out at the end of the season, but they're pretty much trickling them in. And instead of unlocking vestiges, right, because they don't want any FOMO, these are going to give you a whole metric ton of season points as well. You also have all these milestones, which give you 10k for each increment, and they go up to 10 increments. And it's pretty much just, play the game, right? It's not like you're doing anything out of the ordinary for these. So there's lots of ways to gain season points, not to mention just winning fights or winning runs. And not listed in here are two things that I think are very important. There is well-rested XP, meaning if you did not earn any season points one day, it'll boost a day later. I don't quite know how that works. It's not listed, and I'm sure that they don't really want to give out the specifics of that right away, but it does exist. I have confirmed with the developers that that's a thing. Another thing that they have is Party XP, which is whenever you're playing with a party, everyone's going to earn bonus SP. I don't know that number either, but if you're the type of person who will only come back once a week and you get together with a friend or a couple of friends, and so you're just going to play a couple of games, you get the well-rested XP, you get the party XP. You guys can try and make sure that get these collaborative quests, help each other out with their individual quests. Maybe someone's going to be working on their seasonal quests. I made sure that I'm allowed to talk about this since it's technically private test experience. When I first got into the private test, which was somewhere around like February, March, by the time that I first showed up in a Twitch stream, I was already like level 28 or something, and everybody was like very impressed because that was a lot of work. But since then, changes to the XP, most notably seasonal quests, daily quests, the collaborative quests, well-rested XP, party XP, all of these things made it so that the last like 3 months of the playtest, I was able to get up to 80 relatively easy. By relatively easy, I mean that I was not playing anywhere near as much as I was playing that first month. I was playing like maybe once a week, sometimes twice a week, and those last 60 were just very easy to get due to the well-rested XP. I was also playing primarily solo, so it's not even like I was getting party XP either. So, personally, I think that if you're those only can game on the weekend and maybe for only a couple of hours, you should be relatively fine maxing out your season level, especially if you're the type of person who's going to meet up with some friends and play with them, because then you also get that party XP. The main thing that's actually going to be difficult is probably going to be getting your player rank maxed out. And even that, it's just a couple of nameplates. I honestly wouldn't bother about it too much so long as you're enjoying the game. Now, as far as the season pass itself, I would probably just worry about getting... If you're the type of person who would want to spend money on the season pass, I would just worry about getting to level 62 if you can, and then spending $3 or your local equivalent in order to get the rest of the shines that you need to unlock the season pass, and then you'll have enough shines to just roll through the rest of them so long as you get to season level 32, which isn't honestly a bad thing, really. And once 1.0 launches, all you gotta do is get to level 59. That may require a little bit more work, but a lot of people probably don't know this about me, but I play a lot of gacha games, free to play, and my mentality always is, if a game service like this didn't do anything in the last season to merit your purchase of, like, say, in this case, a $6 season pass, just don't give them a $6 season pass. Again, the only scummy thing that I feel is that these MTXs are going to cost you a lot more if you don't unlock them first, so people are going to feel obligated to get to the end and get all of these things. That's the only thing that I think is bad about the season pass. If you feel differently, you can go ahead and, voice your opinion down below. We can have a conversation about it. I can also probably relay that feedback back to the devs. Or if you have any questions that I didn't quite answer, you can put those down in the comments below. And if I can't answer them, I can see if I can answer those by asking the devs. Anyways, hopefully this has helped you guys with either your purchase with Inkbound or maybe even your purchase with the season pass once it comes out. And until next time, I'll catch you guys around.